Hello everyone, I'm Amit Kale. I've secured 212 rank in Civil Services Examination 2018 and currently I'm undergoing training in Indian Defence Estate Services with my rank in previous year 812 in 2017 examination. So you're watching me on Delhi Knowledge Track. I would like to provide a brief idea about how to prepare for the geography optional, which has not been performing quite well in previous years. So a kind of hope for the geography folks. I have secured 304 marks in my geography optional this year with split being 134 in paper 1 and 170 in paper 2. So paper 2 has quite helped me in getting a good rank. My previous year scores were 255 and 262. So there was quite a drastic improvement in my optional scores and crossing 300, the barrier of 300 in geography, which is quite a dream score for a geography candidate. So firstly, I would like to talk about the sources in geography, like what kind of books the people must refer to. My basic foundation, I did it from the ALS, the books which provided me the foundation. Though the books, the notes are not that comprehensive and they are quite complicated, but already I had prepared my foundation in that, so I had to continue with it. And my score also was quite stagnant in 255s and 260s. So after that, what I decided is I joined the Guidance IAS 500 Plus program and also the test series. So this year, therefore, I saw the improvement because in my content as well as the answer writing style, I made various changes and it reflected in my scores in paper 2. So in sources, I would like to say is the standard sources which you all know is Savinder Singh and Majid Hussain and Khullar. These are the standard sources which are only for the reference, but the main thing what you can cover is from, I think currently is Guidance IAS notes, which are very well written and comprehensive and will provide with the basic foundation for the students. The Guidance IAS notes for paper 1 as well as paper 2, they are quite comprehensive, and after the sources, the planning is very important, I think, with respect to optional. Now, during my mains period, what I used to do is, first thing I would like to say is, people must be thoroughly prepared with their optional prior to their prelims as well. Because many times what happens is, students get happy after clearing prelims and then after that they realize they have to do the optional as well. So, they must complete their optional beforehand along with the answer writing practice. Then during the mains, what you can do is planning for your optional, like per week you can give one paper. I joined the Guidance IAS test series. There were total, I gave around 6 to 7 tests with 2 comprehensive tests and 6 module based tests were there for geography. So in planning, what I did was I used to go section wise. I did my the physical section of paper 1 first. The 5 sections I used to cover in around like 10 days or something because the paper 1, the section 1 of paper 1 is quite vast. So this is what I did. I used to give weeks in a week 3 days for optional and then the rest of the 4 days for GS. So this kind of planning, according to your comfort, you can do the planning accordingly and give around 6 to 7 tests. After this, revision is the most important aspect for geography because geography is a very vast optional and you need to revise it at least 3 to 4 times is the basic minimum requirement. Especially revision is more important in certain difficult sections such as the physical paper 1 section as well as the paper the human part, the perspective section as well as models and theories. These are the sections which require more revision because they are more theoretical and you need to keep revising it for better recalling. So at least 3 to 4 times revision is what is important. Then with respect to the answer writing practice, there are various changes which I did. First thing is I referred the Guidance IAS notes. Then after that, I went through various model answers of various toppers. from the previous year. And one thing I noticed was I was lacking in my proper introduction, conclusion, as well as the relevant figures which I need to draw. So these changes I incorporated in my answer writing, such as, for example, in paper 2, there was a question with respect to urban morphology. So what I did was I had a case study in my mind about the Delhi, the settlement pattern of Delhi, and I had already prepared it. So I had a rough idea about the map of the proper sectoral. I had a proper figure with me for the Delhi settlement pattern. So this helped me in better answer writing. The second thing, with respect to paper 2, the most important changes which I did was writing conclusions, which was missing in my previous year papers answers, and I secured unfortunately 129, and this year my marks boosted to 170. So conclusions is the most important aspect in answer writing, I think. You can write like futuristic, giving proper solutions to answers. Like in case of settlement, you can give include government schemes as well in your conclusion, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and all these things. Then one other second point is with respect to answers, I used to lack in my facts and figures. For paper 2 especially, I used very limited facts in my paper 2, but paper 2 is very general and you need to give a geographical touch. This is what makes it difficult. So you can mention more facts. You can have a separate book can be maintained for facts as well as case studies. Such as I had prepared various case studies with respect to the settlement pattern, then population, industries, various with respect to the pollution, environmental issues, various case studies is what you can prepare a separate book for it. Along with it, the facts can be taken from your knowledge from GS, as well as separate extra efforts you will have to put in with respect to topics like for facts, environment, then there is industries, for economic survey and budget, you can get these facts. So these facts will help you a lot in boosting your marks. Third thing what I did was the relevant figures, such as a map of India can be drawn. For example, in a 10 marker, you can draw at least one figure. In 15 markers, 2 figures, and then in 20 marker, you can draw at least 3 to 4 figures in your answer. This will make your answers more interactive and more, the examiner will feel he can better understand and incorporate what you're trying to convey. So figures is most important. On an average, like 45 to 50 figures per paper is what you can do. For this, you need prior practice. Contextual figures are important. So, for example, there was a question on tourism, like sustainable tourism. So I had a case study in my mind about Andaman and Nicobar, and Niti Aayog had come up with a strategy for development of islands. So you can focus on a particular case study in your answers. For sustainable tourism, I focused on Andaman and Nicobar. So these case studies, you can fetch you better marks rather than writing vague answers. So this is what you can do. After that, in answer writing, I think what is important is writing to the point answers rather than giving more large introductions. You can cut short the introduction in 2 to 3 sentences and then directly come to the point, like what the question examiner is asking. This is more important in 10 markers because in 10 markers what happens is you have a very short word limit and you have more number of points to mention. So you can directly come to the point and finish it off in 130 words or 140 words as per the word limit. Earlier, I never had this time management concept. I used to directly attempt the number of paper questions, and I had no fair idea about how much time is remaining and how many questions I have to attempt. So this cost, because of this, I used to leave around 30 to 40 marks worth questions. And this, I heavily suffered because of this. So during this attempt, what I incorporated was better time management. First 5 minutes I used to give for what questions I will be attempting in the section A and section B. This is what I used to decide. And then after you should follow a strict time limit, 5 minutes strictly for those selecting the questions. After that, for 10 markers, which are for 50 marks, for section A, I used to give 30 to 35 minutes with per question 6 minutes. And you can finish it in that period. In 10 markers especially, it is important that you limit yourself within the word limit, because you tend to extend it and fill up the pages. So it is important to limit yourself within 30 to 35 minutes for the 10 markers. And for the questions, optional, the section based questions like 15 markers and 20 markers, I used to allot 35 minutes total. With 15 markers, I used to give 10 to 11 minutes, and 20 markers around 15 minutes. So I used to finish it off, the 50 marks total within 35 minutes. So total time for 3 such questions would be 105 minutes. And the time period I used to have in spare was around 10 minutes. So I used to again go through the paper, and it really helped me in completing my papers. So time management is very important, especially in geography, because in geography what happens is people have to draw figures as well as write answers, and it consumes a lot of time. So I would advise everyone to have a conscious time management practice during even during the test series. The test series must be taken very seriously. You should have a proper time period rather than extending beyond the time limit during the test series itself. It will help you a lot in improving your scores, because completing the paper with quality is of utmost importance, and within time, that if you have given certain time period, definitely you will have that quality till the end period. So that is important. With respect to the map practice, you can have your atlas as well as a standard book for map you can purchase from the market. And you can also, one important aspect in map practice is go through the previous year papers. Around 15 to 20 years of papers for map you can purchase from the market, the Vishal question booklet, and also have a fair idea about which places have been asked. So just by preparing the previous year, you can attempt at least 6 to 7 map based questions in paper 2. This is for the map practice. Now, with respect to the important topics, certain important topics which you need to cover very thoroughly are like in paper 1, part 1, the geomorphology is very important. The top 5 topics such as geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, and bioenvironmental geography. These 5 topics are of utmost importance, because these are the basic foundation that will be provided in your further preparation. So being thorough with geomorphology, all the theories, and covering each and every topic section wise is very, very important, because what mistake I did previously was I just went through the notes, and there were certain topics which were not covered in notes as well. So I landed up in trouble and I couldn't attempt certain questions. So going topic wise, certain topics which are not covered, you make your own notes on single paper. One per topic, per page notes is what you can follow. Then in human geography aspect, perspectives, the way you can prepare is, I did it from Majid Hussain, and it is a very good source. You can go through it. And what I emphasized on was the names of books. As it is given, you should mention it in your answers. Then second aspect is the name of various geographers. You should mention their full name in your answers. It will give you an edge. Third thing is with respect to perspectives, you should, many times people get bored studying, because I personally didn't like that topic, and I never prepared it in my first attempt, so I landed up in trouble. So most important thing is you cover each and every topic, especially perspectives, because it will help you in paper 2 as well. Because paper 2, what it demands is you need to link geography with paper 2, and due to its general nature of questions, it is very difficult to link geography. So as for example, last year there was a question on the Indian Ocean and with respect to China. So I mentioned the models and theories such as the Rimland theory, India being a part of Rimland. It has been under constant war and all those conflicts. So this is how you can relate paper 1 with paper 2. Then after perspectives, models and theories is a topic which is very important because it is a very static topic and it will fetch you very good marks. After that, paper 2, you need to focus on the first 5 topics such as the physical, agriculture, industry, transportation and the settlement pattern. These topics are very important. Certain sections can be covered through economic survey and because it will provide the basic facts and figures about agriculture industry, what has been the performance, and you can provide those facts in your answers as well. So with respect to paper 2, current affairs is very important because your GS knowledge such as various examples can be used from GS in your answers. Now with respect to examples is you can give very practical examples in your answers such as in my answer with respect to urban morphology, I have stayed in Pune. So with respect to the setup in Pune, I had a knowledge about what kind of settlement pattern exists in Pune. So I gave the example of Pune in my answers. So very practical and relevant examples can be given in answers. And further, with respect to do's and don'ts, first thing with respect to do's is be very comprehensive in your preparation. Like, don't even leave a single topic in geography because you never know from which section the questions might be asked. Second thing is you should be very well thorough with your syllabus and answer writing practice. Answer writing will help you in cutting short your time period during the mains period, the exam time. Third thing is important is practicing the figures prior. Contextual figures must be drawn during the exam. So you should be very thorough with the figures such as India map, world map. Within a half minute you should be able to draw it. This will help you in reducing the time period for your answers. Fourth thing is you should have a separate book with respect to facts, figures and case studies. This will really help you a lot in boosting your scores in especially paper 2. With respect to don'ts, what I would like to say is many a times people do not give importance to time management. So do have a proper time management. Do not ignore the time period given to every section, like what I said before. 35 minutes for every section should be given and not beyond that and not early to that. So this is what you should follow. Second thing is you can have a better group like a personal guidance from your, such as in Guidance IAS, I always used to ask Himanshu sir for what kind of answers, what mistakes I have done in my previous year papers. So I got a good feedback through the sir as well as the students in Guidance IAS. So have a good group and always discuss your answers with your peer group, and this will help you in improving your answers. Then one more aspect with respect to geography is with respect to don'ts is if you are having a good score, if your score is within the range of 250s and 260s, you can definitely continue with your optional rather than giving it up, because even I had my scores in 260s and I have improved it up to 304. So don't lose hope, because changing an optional and again putting the same amount of energy in it, it is quite difficult and to reach to that level. So you will ultimately it is upon you to decide whether you want to change or not. But then geography also, it is quite faring well this year at least. So depending on your scores, you can decide your option if you want to stick to geography or not. So that's it, and all the best for your preparation. And I would like to thank Delhi Knowledge Track for such a wonderful initiative for guiding students free of cost. Thank you so much.